And we are live. Hello, everybody.
Howdy. Good
Howdy,
evening.
howdy. Good evening. Hello, what is up? Thank you for coming. All right, people trickling in. Hello, Periscope. If you're watching on there, that seems to be where everybody is. And
Wait,
YouTube.
Periscope still exists? I thought Periscope shut down.
Well, it's like in Twitter.
Okay. I
Hi,
thought
Drew.
Periscope wasn't a thing anymore. How
I,
much I know.
it it seems confusing because you're right, it's not, but it's Twitter live streaming, I guess now. They use the same iconography, at least on here.
Hmm.
David, hello. Michael,
Michael, how many days till you move here, Michael? I feel like we've been hearing about your move for months.
yeah. Good evening to you, Rodney.
March 31st, Periscope becomes Twitter Live. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah. We'll see if they change the icons in here. Let's see. Oh, we got our first like from Genevieve.
Yay.
Yay!
Hello.
Oh, good evening,
Michael. All
John.
right.
Alrighty, well, we just hit 60, so let's get
Ooh, let's
started.
do it.
All right, in 3, 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 79 of the Attractions Podcast. I'm Brittany,
And I'm Seth.
and we're here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Seth, how have you been this week?
I have been fantastic because I am a week and a day into being the proud father of two new kittens,
Yeah!
and they still have not learned how to sleep between the hours of like 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. That's
Of
they're
course.
zooming around the house, but hopefully they are watching the broadcast. Hi
Aw.
guys. Um, But on the attractions front, I did get to go out this week to St. Petersburg near Tampa
Ooh.
to the Dali Museum, which has one of these Vincent van Gogh immersive projection shows. There are like
Cool.
4, 5, 6 of these going on around the world, around the country. I know there's
Mm-hmm.
actually two of them opening up, like overlapping in Vegas.
Ooh.
So this one in at the Dali Museum is really neat. It's takes his artwork and kind of animates it and combines it with fragments of his letters and his writings and classical music and projects it on walls all around you in this gallery. You've got to get like a timed admission to go in because it's, of course, still socially distanced. My tip, if you go out, it's definitely the museum is gorgeous and worth seeing, but they kind of treat the production like it is a walkthrough exhibit, and it's not. It's a show with a beginning, middle, and end. So if they send you into it in the middle of the show, make sure you hang out and wait to the end and then see the whole thing because we saw some people kind of just only seeing like half of it.
Gotcha. Well, I saw that I think it's coming to Dallas,
hmm
but I've always
There,
wanted to go to the
there's a
Dali
bunch of
Museum.
them. Van Gogh is, of course, now public domain, and I think one of these got some good press, and then a whole kind of glommed on. So I can vouch for the one that's in St. Petersburg right now, but have no clue about any of the others.
Well, if they ever come a little bit closer, because Dallas is a bit of a ways out,
Yeah.
I will definitely check that out.
So how was your week?
My week has been pretty good. My birthday was on Monday. I'm a year closer to 30, so that's cool.
Mazel tov.
Thank
Con-
you. I didn't really do anything, but I got vaccinated like the weekend before my birthday, so and I was told that the one that I got, the Johnson and Johnson, was like the Walmart of vaccinations.
Ah,
Which, I
but
mean,
but you survived
I
the
did.
side effects, and
I
you're one and done. So
Yep.
another week, and you should be good to go, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Good for
The
you.
horns didn't really hurt that bad
Hey,
growing
hey,
in.
hey. I here in Orlando, people who are 40 and older will be able to get it or at least sign up to get it at the convention center
Ooh.
starting tomorrow morning. So I'm
Oh
all
wow.
pre-registered, and I'm hoping I have better. I'm going tomorrow for both Rise of the Resistance boarding passes and a COVID vaccination appointment, and I'm not sure which one I'm more stressed about. So to
It's
be perfectly honest,
it's wild that that's how it feels because
yeah,
that's exactly how getting my appointment
yeah,
felt. It was like trying to get that elusive group number. And then this weekend, we kind of had a big day today. There were a bunch of Austin flea pop ups around town with lots of local small business vendors and stuff. And we took Brody, and it was fun. He got to meet lots of people and got really dirty. So we had to give him a bath.
nice.
Yeah. And it
So that
was
must have
just
felt good to go out in public.
yeah, it's so much less stressful going out in public. It's still wore masks and social distance and everything,
Sure,
but
of course.
to just have that little voice in the back of my head going, "You're vaccinated, you should be
Yes.
fine," makes going out a lot easier.
So happy for you. Awesome.
Yeah, but without any further ado, let's get into the news. We have a lot to talk about.
Let's do it.
All you fans of Ewoks and Caravan of Courage apologists, you're getting thrown a bone by Disney Plus next month. This was shocking to me. I never thought that they would address this. As I live with someone who is a major Caravan of Courage fan, so much so we have an original theatrical one sheet here in our house
Wow, that's
that
hardcore.
that Drew Struzan signed, I think. Um, it's hardcore, but starting on April 2nd, fans of Star Wars will be able to explore new non-canon. I want to stress that non-canon
Legends. We call this. We call these legends, right?
yes, legends, the expanded plots, but it's Caravan of Courage and Ewoks: The Battle for Endor, two full-length movies because George Lucas wanted to make movies about the Ewoks.
I think he
The
just wanted to give work to Warwick Davis. I think
that's
that was a lot of it.
oh yeah,
Because I mean,
and
that's why Willow exists, pretty
right.
much.
I've never watched Willow. Now that you bring that up,
Oh, that's got
oh,
to be on your to-do list.
I'm putting it on my list right now.
I actually remember watching both Caravan Courage and Ewoks: The Battle of Endor in their original. Was it CBS? Were they a CBS TV movie? They were television movies in the United States. I think in Europe they might have been shown theatrically.
Hmm.
But I can remember the first time that they were shown on TV. It was a local New York radio station. You could tune in to listen to the soundtrack
What?
in stereo
Oh my god.
because that was a big deal. Like TV did not have stereo back then. So, Caravan of Courage is a genuinely pretty darn good movie. The Battle for Endor, not so much. But and then the Clone Wars that they're releasing, I believe these are the hand animated ones
Yes.
before the CGI series, which is still canon, came
Yes.
out. These were kind of put out to bridge between Attack of the Clones and Episode 3. It actually leads right into the opening crawl of Episode 3. So, yeah, definitely worth watching for completists and people who liked the old series Samurai Jack, because
Oh
it's the
yeah.
same artist who did Samurai Jack.
And then seasons 1 and 2 of the animated show Star Wars Ewoks.
Where are my droids at? I want Star Wars droids.
That's what
Which was a
everyone said.
better series than Ewoks.
I've only seen the art because I know it's getting put on merchandise a
Yeah.
lot, especially with her universe. I think, and I think Uniqlo, when they did that Star Wars collection a couple of years back, they had Ewoks art on them.
Mm.
And then another interesting addition is the story of the Faithful Wookiee, which is just the animated portion of the 1978 Star Wars holiday special.
And I am shocked that any portion of that holiday special is being officially released. Like this was something that George Lucas wanted to have burned. And like he could have, if he said something about if he could destroy every single copy, he would. So the fact that this any part of it, and everyone agrees that the cartoon is by far the best part of it, and the second best part was the commercials for the toys, and everything else is pretty terrible. Um, but so I am excited to finally see a good copy of this cartoon because
Yeah.
every version I've ever seen has been a terrible bootleg.
I think I watched the whole thing on YouTube once, and it was like being tortured for
Yeah.
an hour.
It's 2 hours long and it's brutal. Like
Yeah.
if they had cut it down to an hour, it would still have been awful. But at two
Yeah.
hours, it's just unwatchable.
The only part that I like is Gormanda. She deserves all the respect and admiration.
And we got to give props to B. Arthur. If they would
Right.
release B. Arthur's musical number, that I would stream for sure.
Well, maybe one day, if everyone goes and streams Story of the Faithful Wookiee, they'll be like, okay, there is an opportunity for some holiday special content here.
We can only dream.
All right, everyone, your homework. As soon as that gets added on April 2nd, go stream it. Over at Legoland Windsor Resort in the UK, they're getting the first flying theater in the UK later this year.
We are so used to flying theater rides. Obviously, soaring is the first thing that most people think of with a flying ride, but that they had versions of them in so many parks across the states, across Europe. I didn't realize that there was not a single one in the UK yet.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
It's also a little surprising that they are theming this to Mythica, and not the Lego Movie series, because um, if you look at what is going to be included in this land, you've got a flying theater, you've got a drop tower ride, you've got a water ride. It sounds an awful lot like the Lego Movie world that we have here in Legoland in Florida, and that they're also putting in some other Lego lands. So it's kind of interesting that they came up with original concept, original theming for this instead of just plopping down another Lego Movie land.
Yeah, I kind of like this better. It sounds awesome. So this land will have the attractions as Seth mentioned, but there will also be a character meet and greet, a play area, and a place called Creature Creation where you can make your own Lego Mythica creatures, which sounds really cool.
I wonder. I know they have an augmented reality system with their app there that allows some of these sculptures, these Lego models to come to life. I wonder if that'd be pretty cool if you could build your own little Lego model and then use AR to animate it.
That sounds cool. I smell a trip in order here. Um, this new land, once it opens in May, will be home to 13 mythical creatures crafted from more than 1.7 million. That's a lot of
That's a lot
Lego
of blocks.
bricks.
That's a lot of bricks to step on the rug
Oh
near
God,
bare feet.
my feet hurt just thinking about it. Crafted by a team of 15 master builders over the course of nearly 9,000 hours, which is
Wow.
almost equal to a year. Crazy, absolutely crazy. But if you head over to our YouTube channel, I believe we have a video where they construct this winged lion creature for the entrance to the attraction in a speed build if you want to check that out. Over at Shanghai Disney Resort, they are celebrating their fifth year, their fifth birthday, starting on April 8th with Year of Magical Surprises. And for those of you who are around for Walt Disney World's Year of a Million Dreams in 2006, a lot of this will sound pretty familiar to you.
Yeah, they're doing all sorts of giveaways on a daily basis. The park is celebrating its birthday, but it's the guests who are getting the gifts. And it looks like they're going to range from anything from being able to cut the line for an attraction or getting a snack voucher, all the way up to one family of on-site guests are going to get a special key and get to go into Club 33 into some sort of prize vault. There is even this is a first as far as I know. Select guests get picked to be able to attend and participate in a special stage production that looks like a musical game show where they can win prizes. This is kind of crazy. I think this goes even above and beyond anything we got for the Year of a Million Dreams. I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah. One of the prizes that you can get in that spin the wheel game show art is an annual pass. Like, come
That's
on.
amazing. Or even better than an annual pass, how about a 37-inch tall Stella Lou plush?
That's pretty big.
That you could legally adopt that and get a child tax credit.
Hey, that stimulus check. I mean, this sounds awesome, and to think that guests randomly not being members of Club 33 could go into their lounge there, just surprise, you get to go.
Yeah.
And they're also going to have a fun pre-parade full of birthday cakes and decorations and bunting led by Mickey and Minnie and all their pals. Mickey and Minnie will start the pre-parade on a 13-foot tall 3-layer cake float.
They'll also be debuting a new evening spectacular. This one's called Illuminate, a nighttime celebration. And it involves castle projections on the Enchanted Storybook Castle, along with fireworks. And I believe this is the first new nighttime spectacular to premiere in any Disney park since the pandemic started.
Yeah, I think you're right. To think new nighttime spectaculars and parades.
Yep. So, if that kind of entertainment is getting ramped back up in China, hopefully that means by the end of the year we'll be hearing more about a date for Harmonious.
Yes.
And seeing other stuff coming back to the Disney parks in the United States.
Keeping fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
And also lots of adorable merchandise and food. This cake thing, it looks sinful. There's like a
too beautiful to eat. To have to carry it home.
I will shed a single tear as I stuff the whole thing in my face. This was exciting. Last week we got a bit of an exclusive. Disney shared with us some of the character bios for those who will be added to the Jungle Cruise, taking place of the trapped safari scene that was hinted at about a month ago.
So this is the update to the Jungle Cruise that is partially in order to update or correct some of the unfortunate stereotypes and dated material that is in it. But they're not just, ripping stuff out. They're kind of trying to put in more backstory, more Easter eggs, and more stuff for people who are fans of SEA, which is the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, which kind of started in Tokyo and Hong Kong. It's woven into the Tower of Terror in Japan and Mystic Manor in China, and it's kind of tied into the Jungle Skipper Canteen restaurant that we have in Walt Disney World. And now this is going to link the two Jungle Cruises on the East and West Coasts together and sort of provide a unifying storyline. So for those of you who for the past, 60-something years have been going on the Jungle Cruise and thought, there is just not enough backstory here. If you all along wanted the Zack Snyder treatment of the Jungle Cruise, where you got to know exactly what motivates each of the people who is climbing up that tree. Yes, sure, they don't want to get stuck in the butt by a rhino, but exactly why does each individual one not want to get stuck in the butt by that rhino? Now you will finally be able to find out.
I sense some lingering beef with Zack Snyder in there, but that's...
He took 4 hours of my life this week. And,
I didn't watch it.
You know what? It is definitely better than the 2-hour version, but a 4-hour mediocre movie is not necessarily better than a 2-hour bad movie. Moving
Maybe
right along, let's go
moving
back to
right
the Jungle Cruise.
yes. So the main character that they revealed for all of this is Alberta Falls.
Hmm.
Uh, her grandfather is Dr. Albert Falls, who,
After whom the famous Schweitzer Falls was named,
yes,
which
um,
is a joke that no one gets on the Jungle Cruise anymore because sadly no one remembers who Dr. Albert Schweitzer was. Back in the 50s, that joke got a big laugh. Not so much anymore.
I didn't know that. You taught me something.
There you go.
I just thought it was funny because Falls and not Schweitzer. But if you've eaten over at Skipper Canteen, you will know of Alberta Falls very well. But this drawing, I have a thing to propose to you that Josh brought up to me that I've been thinking about. So in this interview, which you can read in our spring issue, if you're interested over at attractionsmagazine.com/store, hashtag plug. Um,
Hashtag.
they don't really come out and say what they're going to do with Trader Sam. Uh,
No, they're still
at
being
either
kind of
dock.
cagey, and
Yeah,
yeah, and Trader Sam is print in both parks, but kind of problematic in both versions.
yeah,
So
and in different ways because they look different.
yes, absolutely.
But Josh brought this up to me, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. He said that this character depiction of Alberta Falls seems too detailed to not be like an animatronic or something.
So could she be replacing Trader Sam, or is she
And
getting her own placement somewhere in?
I don't
Um,
know. It just
they have said, no matter what happens to the Jungle Cruise ride, there are no plans to change the Trader Sam bars at
yes,
either resort. So thankfully, hopefully those will someday reopen because right
yeah.
now both of them are closed and there's no reopening date for either of those. Um,
But yeah, I just can't you just picture her like at the end, like doing a thing,
100%.
moving
Yep.
around. She seems so detailed and her outfit, I'm dying to see what that looks
Yep.
like in person with the big puffy pants. But yeah, since he said that, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it.
Yep. I would say that would be a great guess, but of course that is right now only a guess.
Right, yes.
I don't know if we can even call it a rumor. It is
It
just
was
someone's gut
speculation.
feeling. It's pure speculation. But if you want some more speculation and hard information, pick up that spring issue and read that interview.
Definitely do because Brooke, the one who did the interview, she did such a great job and got so much interesting quips and things from the team working on it. Other people that will be on the poll of sorts are Felix Petchman, the 13th, who is a skipper himself. And then Dr. Leonard Moss, a Canadian botanist. Rosa Soto Dominguez, a celebrated Mexican artist. Dr. Kon Chinosuke, sea member and Japan's preeminent entomologist.
And
So there's your sea
I believe
connection.
this is a newly created member of C that we have not heard about before.
Yes, I
Yep.
believe you are
So
correct.
expanding the mythology. There you go.
Yes. Though it doesn't really say how, other than just he's a member of C.
Yep.
It seems pretty minimal in the connections there. Siobhan Puffin Murphy. Her nickname is Puffin because she loves puffins.
Who does not love puffins?
And where Siobhan is from, she lives near Skellig Michael, which those of you who are Star Wars fans will know as Octo from Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Confirmed crossover movie between the Jungle Cruise with The Rock and Star Wars. New
Oh my
trilogy. Confirmed. And then it will be over with Fast and Furious because of The
Oh
Rock.
no, the world
And The
could not.
Mummy. And
What else?
I don't know.
The
I'm
MonsterVerse, Godzilla and Kong,
I can't stretch this anymore. Didn't he do that Rampage movie? No.
maybe I don't know.
All right.
Um, yeah, and he's in the Jungle Cruise, and
Yeah.
I, to be honest, I would love to see like a Star Wars archaeology movie, but that's a discussion for another day. And then now they are referring to Jungle Cruise at both parks as the West Dock and the East Dock, connecting one river together, which I found super interesting. But I can't wait to hear the stories and excuses that skippers make up for that.
Yeah, I do think it would be kind of troublesome if you got on in Orlando and stepped off in Anaheim, and then like, how are you supposed to get back to your hotel room?
Yeah, that seems a bit problematic. But as for Trader Sam's fate, if there is one at all, or any other changes, we will have to wait
April
because
30th, hopefully we'll find out. Though I don't know if they've said that the Jungle Cruise will it be complete on April 30th. Well, we'll have to discuss that in a future news segment.
yes, I don't think they've said either way if they're going to fully shut the thing down or
Yeah.
not. We might get some very creative scrims put up or something.
Oh boy, I hope they do give it a proper refurb, and give it the
Oh, that
time
would
it
be so
takes to
nice.
do it right.
Hmm. Some of those elephants in the
I don't think
elephant
this is
bait.
this doesn't sound like a Jingle Cruise where they can do it just overnight.
Yeah, no, this will probably take a
No.
while. Over at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in California and Six Flags Magic Mountain are getting opening dates, as well as Six Flags Mexico, which opened back on the 18th. But the two California parks will open on April 1st.
I believe this makes them the first theme parks in California to reopen with rides.
Yeah, which is
Yep.
crazy. We'll get to it later. Legoland, Florida is also opening on the 1st, but for
Hmm.
preview days, not full
Yep.
public opening. So members and season pass holders will be able to go to the California parks on April 1st and 2nd, and then the general public will be able to go back starting the 3rd.
Keep in mind, by general public, you're still going to have a reservation, and you're still
Mhm.
going to have to be a California resident.
Yeah.
Until they get into a lower tier, all of these parks are going to have extremely limited capacity. It's going to be like winning the lottery to get into one of these parks, and we don't know exactly what the enforcement mechanism will be or what the penalty will be if they catch you trying to sneak in, but officially you have to be a California resident to buy a ticket and go to the park
Yeah.
on these days, any of these parks. So we're going to be
Uh,
saying that a lot coming up.
yeah. I was watching a fresh baked Disney live stream, and he said something about being asked what your zip code is when you're trying to
Absolutely.
purchase tickets.
Hmm.
Though I thought it could just be as easily tied to whatever zip code your credit card is billed to. So,
Yeah, that's a way of doing it too. And then we don't know, but they could easily check ID
ooh, yeah.
at gates. Just do not be booking a cross country flight right now. If you're not a California resident, do not expect to be able to get into any of these parks for the until further notice.
Yeah. And Legoland, they will officially open to all guests on April 15th, but will have park preview days from April 1st through the 12th.
It's
Very
probably
exciting.
smart.
Yeah.
It's not easy under the best of circumstances to open a park for a season.
Hmm.
And when a park has been closed for, a year or even more, there's a lot of moving parts that need to get back up to speed. People need to be retrained. Even if you could somehow rehire every single person who you laid off into the role that they were in before, they haven't done their job in a year. You lose muscle memory when you're operating rides. So, the idea that Six Flags is just flipping the switch on April 1st and going to run all these big roller coasters, and we know that operations at Six Flags parks can be inefficient at best, under good circumstances. So I think Legoland is really playing it safe by having a couple weeks of previews, lowering the expectations, limiting the number of attractions they're offering, and kind of being a little honest with people that it's going to be a little rough for the first couple weeks.
Yeah. It also seems like once they fully reopen on the 15th, not all of their rides will be reopening.
Yep, yep. And be prepared. We've gotten used to it in Florida and California. Be prepared that the parks are not going to have everything that you're used to. There are going to
Yeah.
be missing attractions. There's going to be a lot of restaurants and things closed, a lot of shows. It's not going to be 100% what it was before, and that's something you're going to have to prepare yourself for.
Yeah. And then, of course, as always, face coverings are required for all guests ages 2 and up, as well as
Absolutely.
staff members, and they are checking temperatures
Hmm.
once you show up.
Yep. And this
So,
is all whether or not you have had a vaccine.
yes,
There's no way of verifying who is vaccinated, so that's not going to be part of the equation at this point. Whether you've been jabbed in the arm or not, you're wearing the face mask and you're observing the social distancing, or you're leaving the park.
that's right. Over in Japan, where both Seth and I
Ah,
wish we were. uh,
I feel like we keep teasing ourselves by talking about this week
I
after week.
know, but it finally opened.
Finally, we don't have to talk about it anymore. Yay!
Oh, I'm kind of
No,
sad.
uh, it's been a long time coming, but finally seeing the video of Super Nintendo World officially open, seeing everything working, and seeing how in the end it really was exactly like the concept art. Like
Yeah, that's
I can't think of a land that came out more like picture perfect. Like line up the photograph with the rendering, and it's like almost exact. It's amazing.
yeah. Universal really knocked it out of the park with this one, and I've been saying that for forever. But if you go to our YouTube channel, I don't have it here and don't want to play it on this live stream in case we get tagged for our own content. Um, but you can check out the opening moment that they did, which was very cute. Mario's dad, Shigeru Miyamoto, showed up. And it was very cute. They had dancers, and the characters came out and did the thing. And then everyone went into the warp pipe together and walked into this beautiful Technicolor blocky world. And I can't wait until we get to go.
I'm so well, in Japan, I'm sure they are going to keep it looking just so bright and colorful and shiny. I'm wondering when this finally comes to like California, where it's maybe more than halfway done. The famous California smog, what that's going to do to all those
Ooh.
bright primary colors in a few years.
Put this photo in Photoshop and turn the saturation down
Exactly.
like 30% and then see what it looks like. And then Orlando, we should be seeing that, knock on wood, sometime in 2025.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Early 2025 is when I'm holding my breath for that.
All right. Well, we'll rewind back to this episode when that time comes,
Yes.
and then see if
Until
you were
then,
right.
we can stop talking about
Yeah.
for a little while because it just makes me so jealous. I just want to go and watch those videos again. It all
Right.
looks so good.
Uh, one day, we'll get to go. And before we get to this week's main attraction, I wanted to talk about our next Disney Plus obsession, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, this one is not as long as WandaVision. This one's only 6 episodes, but the episodes themselves
Or a
are
little longer.
chunky. They're
Yeah.
like 47 minutes a
Hmm.
piece. Did you like it? I guess
I
that's the first
I
question.
did. You know what? I liked the last episode of WandaVision a little less than I expected, and I liked the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier a little more than I expected. Not as much as I liked the first 3 episodes of WandaVision, but it delivered on the action. First
Yes.
of all, like that first 10 minutes or so,
Insane.
not just like lives up to TV standards of action, but like that could have been in a movie, and you wouldn't have, you wouldn't have thought it looked cheap or anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing, explosive way of kicking things off. But I think, previously I joked about, well, I'm sure this isn't going to just be, Bucky Barnes sitting around talking about his feelings, but it kind of is. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. Like, because that, if any character in the Marvel universe, deserves to be able to sit around and like, kind of process uh, it's him. Like he's been through so many, so much mental torture over the years,
Yeah.
and he harbors so much guilt, and kind of watching him move on from that, I think is interesting from a dramatic point of view.
Yeah.
Um, and then Sam, watching Sam be all like self-sacrificing and, I'm not going to take up the shield, and then watching some schmuck get handed it. It's just like the embodiment of white privilege.
Right? Yeah.
Um, obviously, there's some really creative places where this can go, and mostly I'm just excited to see these two characters team up. They don't get together really in the first episode, but it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was so interesting because I will admit I did not like this as much as I loved WandaVision initially. Like it did
Hmm.
not just like suck my eyeballs to the TV screen and keep
Yeah.
them there for 9 weeks straight. But I thought it really interesting that they decided to explore more of the like trauma post blip
Yes.
and everything that Bucky has been through over the past like 100 years, basically.
Hmm.
Having him go to court mandated therapy and have a list of amends that he is trying to make, and then actually showing you someone that he hurt, and then leading into present day where that affects his life now, and how eventually I would hope that there will be a payoff to that little thread where he'll have to tell Takamura, I believe that's his
Hmm.
name, what happened to his
To his,
son.
yeah.
And then seeing superheroes trying to apply for bank loans is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen.
But it was funny, but it's also infuriating,
Yeah.
because I mean, obviously, it's got real life parallels, but just the idea that people like Sam and all of the Avengers, basically sacrificed their lives to save the world, and the world's kind of like, thanks, what have you done for us lately? You
Right?
know?
Or when they were talking about what's this gap in your income for
Yeah,
5 years?
exactly.
And
It's
you're
like
like,
I didn't exist.
I got dusted. How
Yeah,
am I supposed to have
yeah,
employment history and income for 5 years when I'm just a pile of
yeah,
dust on the ground?
yeah. So it's great because superheroes doing what they do best, which is serving as a metaphor for the kind of challenges that ordinary people face,
Hmm.
and then taking those challenges and making them fantastic, but also relatable. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm willing to follow this series and see where it goes.
same. Yeah, I can't wait until we get, because we only got one episode as
Mhm,
press for screenings of it. We only got the one that aired on Friday.
mhm.
So I am just as in the dark as everyone else. We still don't really know who our villain is yet beyond the masked vigilantes that encounter Sam's Air Force friend. And then U.S. Agent, the new Cap guy, the schmuck.
He just looks like such a schmo.
Yeah, he looks real
he looks
goofy.
dopey in that.
I feel bad for the actor because everyone on Twitter was like dogging him after that episode came out. And I was
I'm
like,
sure they intentionally picked someone who looks kind of, a little dopey.
yeah, well, we shall see next week and probably have lots of things to talk about.
Absolutely.
And for this week's main attraction, if you are listening to the audio version, you will hear a new audio clip that we have made for this section. But because it is audio and not video, I can't play it in StreamYard. So pretend that you just heard some really epic intro. StreamYard, get on it. I want to be able to play this for the folks at home watching. Ding, ding, ding. It has a
Ding.
wrestling bell in it. Disneyland has an opening day.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, hallelujah. It's been a year.
It's been
Finally.
10 years, feels like.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel. It is the train in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride sending us back to hell. But like the fun cartoon hell that we love.
Yeah.
with
Not
the little
vaccinated. I'm just like,
demons with the little pokey things and the
yeah.
thing that coughs at you. The smoke ring.
Oh yeah. April 30th, you guys. April 30th. Sections of DCA have already reopened for a touch of Disney, but that was kind of the most anticlimactic one and done event. It was so funny. I felt bad for everyone who bought tickets to that because they were like, "Oh well, if I miss it this time, I'll get it next time."
It is very lucky for Disney that the ability for them to reopen was not announced until after those tickets went on sale, because I don't think
Oh
anyone
yeah,
would have spent $75 on the Taste of Disney tickets if they knew that a couple weeks later the parks were going to reopen.
yeah.
But
But they've already started. I've seen pictures of the horses out on Main Street again.
they're going to get their exercise. They must be happy. Like,
Yeah, I
it's been a
bet.
long time for them. I hope they
Hmm.
remember which way to go. It's like, oh
Right?
shoot, wait, do I make the left at the Emporium or the right? Oh shoot, I can never remember. These roundabouts, they're so difficult.
They've got hard jobs. But I really hope, as with Epcot and things at Magic Kingdom and over at DCA for a touch of Disney, I really hope that they keep some of the organic surprise and delight character encounters. You know, like Goofy fishing for his underwear in
That was
DCA.
great, and I believe Chip and Dale have been out on the lawn.
Yeah,
Yes, those socially distant character encounters I think are more fun than waiting in a queue to get a
agreed.
photograph.
Yeah.
I hope some of that stuff sticks around for sure. Um, it will be interesting. Now, we know that there will not be Fast Pass, there will
Yes.
not be Max Pass, there will not be early entry for hotel guests, and only one of the hotels, only the Grand Californian, will be open. And obviously, a lot of theater shows will probably be closed. Indoor meet and greets will be closed. Some attractions might we really don't know. The only thing that we do know will be open is the newly reimagined Snow White ride. We have been promised that that will be opening up.
I'm
So,
excited to see what that looks like.
yep. I think, a lot of the same kind of projection mapping effects that we saw added to Peter Pan and um, Alice in Wonderland in recent years
Hmm.
will probably be added, and the scary is going to be gone. That's the thing. For over the years, more complaints about kids getting the crap scared out of them on Snow White than any other Fantasyland ride. Like, that would show, right, that was traumatizing to a whole
Yeah,
generation of kids, and
right here. I
that's yeah, I think that's mostly going to be gone.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was my first trip to Disney that I can remember because I went as a baby. I rode Snow White's Scary Adventures at Walt Disney
Hmm.
World, and it horrified me to a point where I didn't want to ride anything but Splash Mountain for the rest of the day because Splash Mountain's not scary to me.
And it was less scary by the time you got there when I was a little kid. Before
Oh,
they
is it
even
worse?
called it, yeah, they added the name scary at a certain point because it was so scary and people were not prepared. So they added the name scary, but it was actually scarier before they called it scary. There were a lot more skeletons. There was a lot more of the woods section with stuff
Uh-uh.
jumping out at you.
I hate that.
And a lot less. I mean, originally there was no Snow White at all. You never got to see Snow White because you were supposed to be Snow White. So all you saw was all of the scary stuff.
don't
Brutal,
don't you like
brutal.
die at the end too? Yeah.
Originally, the witch would push a rock on your head, and you saw stars. You saw flashing lights because you were hit on the head, and I don't know if you were dead or merely in a coma. So, but yeah, that's what it used to be, and the other ride that's gotten a refurbishment, we understand, is Haunted Mansion, and it's kind of a
Yeah.
secret as to what exactly was going on there. But I've heard rumors about the Hitchhiking Ghosts there getting an upgrade. So we'll
Um
we'll see. We'll have to see.
like upgrade as in more akin to the Hatbox Ghost with like projected
I really
things.
don't know. In Florida, we have the CGI interactive hitchhiking ghosts in the mirrors at the end.
Hmm.
I personally really love the old school,
Yeah.
mirror gag with a stick. Uh, so I kind of hope that that sticks around, but we'll just have to see. I personally won't be able to see because
Nope.
I don't live in California, and if you don't live in California, you won't be going there on the 30th either. And even if you do live in California, please do not just show up there with your old annual pass, waving it around, expecting you to get in. You're gonna have to have an advance ticket purchased. All annual passes are no longer valid, so you're going to need a newly purchased ticket, and I don't believe those have gone on sale yet. And you're going to need a park pass reservation, and those are not available yet. This is all kind of like, know how this is going to work, but it's all going to work somehow.
Yeah, there
Somehow.
I'm sure within like the next week or two, at least by the
Yeah.
first or second week of April, they
Yeah.
will not on either have tickets on sale or tell you how tickets will be sold. If you happen to get a ticket to Touch of Disney, it will still be happening as planned, but will only go through the 19th and will not have another one after that because the parks will be open.
Yeah. And there's a gap in between the 19th and the 30th, and that's probably going to be private previews for employees and their families. Maybe some annual pass holders will be invited to purchase some preview tickets. Who knows?
Yeah.
There'll probably be some local, politicians and important people will get invited out. That kind of thing, because they're going to need some time again to retrain employees, to ramp up the rides. So if you are lucky enough to get invited during those previews, as we've said before, don't be a jerk. Be patient with the cast members because it's been a year. It takes some time to get all this stuff back up and rolling. So
Yeah.
be patient, please.
Be kind, be patient,
Hmm.
don't be a jerk. Thank you.
Yep.
And then as for hotels, Disney's Grand Californian will reopen on April 29th, and the Disney Vacation Club villas there will open on May 2nd. So that's your only option for accommodations if you want to stay on property, though there are 1.5 million hotels all around in the Anaheim area proper.
Yeah.
So,
And like we mentioned, hotel perks like the early entry or the extra magic hours are not going to be around. Not really sure what other restrictions or what hotel facilities exactly will be open, like the
yeah.
spas. Uh, Wait and see.
Yeah. If you do go, though, at least to a Grand Californian stay, go get storytellers for me.
Oh yeah,
I miss that.
yeah. But that was a great buffet, and obviously that probably
Yeah.
will not be a buffet anymore. Uh,
Rest in peace. Oh, it was
mm,
so good. Well, now we are at the point in the show where I share some listener thank yous. If you do not know, Attractions has a 4-tier subscription service. Basic, Club, VIP, and Digital. And if you choose Club or VIP the week after you subscribe, we give you a little shout out and some tiny applause here on the Attractions podcast. So, without further ado, big snaps and claps to Ricardo Moriel, Jennifer Moreland, Jessica Roy, and Paul Forget. Thank you so much. Yay! Clap, 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 clap. And if you are interested, our spring 2021 issue is up for sale now with that very cool Jungle Cruise interview that I told you about earlier, and all things Super Nintendo, which we are not talking about anymore. So,
well, we can talk about it a little. We're gonna have to talk about when it comes to California in the not too distant
and
future.
then, yep, yeah, in a year or so. No more Super Nintendo talk.
And this is the part of the show where I get to remind everyone to please go to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating, leave us a review, please, and you can find more of Attractions Magazine's coverage on the interweb. Me personally, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Eskuberski or at the UG Series. And you can pick up the unofficial guide to Universal Orlando 2021 at theunofficialguides.com. Brittany, where can they find you?
You can find me at Brittany Tuttle. That's BRITTANITUTTLE. Yes, it's spelled funny on Twitter and Instagram, but also every day at attractionsmagazine.com, at Attractions on Twitter, at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, and youtube.com/attractionsmagazine, where you've been hanging out with us for the past almost 50 minutes for the live show.
But it feels like an hour.
Right? Just feels like an hour. And until next week, I hope you stay safe, wear your mask, get vaccinated if you can, so we can all go to the parks and have fun.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.